Welcome back to the Sports News Analysis YouTube channel. My name is Mike. Guys, tonight I'm going to be posting my 3 videos for my first 2014 NFL mock draft. This video is for picks 1 through 10. I'll also be doing 2 separate videos for picks 11 through 20 and 21 through 32. And I'll be updating this mock draft, every 2 or 3 weeks or so. And, as we get closer to the draft, I'll do prospect profiles. I'll also have a big board, which I'll be posting here in the next couple days, which is basically like overall rankings, regardless of position. Be sure to check that out. And let's get right into it here, guys, because I know a lot of you have been waiting for this. So we'll start with pick number 1. Pick number 1 belongs to the Houston Texans. Right now I have them taking Teddy Bridgewater, the quarterback from Louisville. And, I could definitely see Bill O'Brien going with a veteran, possibly. But I think most likely there's not a veteran that sticks out to me that would be a fit for O'Brien. I can't really predict a trade that might happen. So right now, until I hear different, I'm going to have them going quarterback with Teddy Bridgewater. And, Bridgewater is the most NFL-ready quarterback from a lot of different perspectives in my eyes. Number 1, his ability to deliver the ball from the pocket. Number 2, his poise under pressure. Pretty much unflappable there at Louisville. And obviously, just his overall raw skill, accuracy, ability to put touch on the ball, all the things you look for in an NFL quarterback, I think you have in Teddy Bridgewater. That's why I have him number 1 to the Houston Texans. Pick number 2 is where the Rams sit. A lot of speculation they're going to trade out of this pick. I happen to agree with that. It's just too hard to predict trades in these mock drafts, guys. So if they stay put, I think they take Jake Matthews, the offensive tackle from Texas A&M. You have Jake Long coming off an injury. You have an offensive line. You could bump, if they sign Roger Saffold, the free agent, they could bump him into guard, put Matthews at the right tackle position once Jake Long comes back. I think that's where you see them go if they stick in this pick. But again, I think I could definitely see them trading out of it. NFL ready to go from day one. The safest pick here, Jake Matthews from Texas A&M, the offensive tackle, number 2 to the Rams. With the number 3 pick overall, I had the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I know the Jaguars need a quarterback. But when you have a guy in Jadeveon Clowney, who in this mock draft I had available at pick number 3, that's a guy they have to jump on. He would fit perfectly in any defensive system, but most notably Gus Bradley's. He'd be that pass rusher that Gus Bradley covets. They can get a quarterback at the top of round 2, and I think they would be better served to do that because I truly think I fall in the category where I think Clowney is a once-in-a-generation player. He's going to be a very heavily criticized player along with Manziel leading up to the draft. And, I'm not bothered by the perceived lack of effort at South Carolina. I'm not bothered by the speeding ticket. I go by what I see on tape, what I see in raw skill and ability. And if the Texans don't take a quarterback, I expect Clowney to go number 1. And the only reason why I don't have the Rams picking him is because they have Robert Quinn and, of course, Chris Long. So, I think Clowney's going to be truly sensational. And Jadeveon Clowney to the Jaguars becomes the face of that franchise right now as I have it at pick number 3. Pick number 4 belongs to the Cleveland Browns, and the Browns are a team with a lot of needs, but obviously the most glaring one for a while there in Cleveland now as a franchise has been the quarterback position. I buy the speculation that they're really interested in Johnny Manziel. And again, along with Clowney, he'll be heavily criticized, but you get a guy who makes the most out of nothing, can make plays that seem dead come back alive again. I think that's important in this day and age in the NFL. Just look at the success Colin Kaepernick has had, for instance. And also, I think he's a better passer from the pocket than people give him credit for. And I'm interested to see him showcase that. I think he's going to be a good NFL quarterback. And I think the fit for the Browns there at pick number 4, to me at least, sounds like a very logical one. At pick 5 is the Oakland Raiders. The Raiders have a lot of needs to fill. They also have a very glaring need at quarterback. I don't see a quarterback really for them worth taking here at pick number 5 unless they're going to try to stretch and take a guy way above where he should be picked if they fall in love with someone here. That's why I have them taking Sammy Watkins, the wide receiver from Clemson. Sammy Watkins, 6'1", a little over 200 pounds. when I watch this guy play, the last thing I think of is, well, he's too small to be effective at the NFL level. But you're going to hear a lot of people say that leading up to the draft. I think he's a number one receiver in the NFL all day. I don't care that he's 6'1" and a little over 200 pounds. I'd take Sammy Watkins on my team any day. Sammy Watkins, the wide receiver from Clemson, at pick 5 to Oakland. Pick number 6 belongs to the Falcons. And, I kind of went flip-flop between will they take a tackle, an offensive tackle, will they take someone on the defensive side of the ball. I think they go defense, and I think they take Anthony Barr from UCLA. And again, you're going to hear people say, well, he's a 3-4 outside linebacker. He won't fit in the 4-3, and they'll go on and on and on and on. And those are probably the same people that mocked the Jets for taking Sheldon Richardson last year, who they said couldn't play in a 3-4. So, take all that stuff with a grain of salt. Anthony Barr is a NFL-ready prospect from day one in my eyes. And Mike Smith, a good defensive coach, along with the rest of his coaching staff, they'll find somewhere to put Anthony Barr, and he'll be effective as well. So Anthony Barr, pick number 6 to the Falcons. Pick 7 with the Buccaneers. And the Buccaneers are also a team that's in the market for a pass rusher. I think if they took one at this point, I'd be sort of reaching with Barr and Clowney off the board. I have them going sort of after their other need, which is an offensive tackle, and taking Greg Robinson, the tackle from Auburn. And he really burst on the scene this year. His rise sort of coincided with Auburn's rise as a team because a lot of the focus was on Trey Mason, but that offensive line opening up those holes was led by Greg Robinson. Just a mammoth, in the run blocking department. With the way he held his blocks this year, drove defenders off the ball. He has the feet necessary to be an effective pass blocker as well, even though maybe those traits were not as on display as much in Auburn because of the type of offense they run. I think you could see Greg Robinson even rise up this board more. He's the guy I'd keep an eye on. But right now I have him there slotted in at pick number 7 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Pick 8 belongs to the Minnesota Vikings. And I think you see them jump on a quarterback here. I think they're a team moving into a new stadium, searching for an identity. And I think they get the coach they want in Mike Zimmer. They get that mentality of being tough and rugged. I think they get a quarterback that matches Zimmer's mentality the best in Blake Bortles, the quarterback from University of Central Florida. Bortles is 6'4", 230. He's a big guy, all right? He's from a smaller school. You're going to hear Ben Roethlisberger comparisons. I happen to not think he's not as NFL ready in my eyes as a Ben Roethlisberger. What I mean by that is his ability to deliver from the pocket. I don't think is where Roethlisberger's was when he came into the league. I do think his ability, though, to avoid the rush is a plus in his advantage while he's developing. And again, tough-minded quarterback, tough-minded coach. I think that could work in Minnesota. Blake Bortles, pick 8. To Minnesota. Pick 9 belongs to the Bills. And, you're looking at the Bills there at 9, and you're trying to avoid, the corny Khalil Mack to the Bills storyline. But, look, it fits perfect here as far as how I have things falling. And Khalil Mack to the Bills at pick 9, to me, makes a ton of sense. The Bills, very good in the pass rushing department last year. Okay, not so good in the run defense department. Not so good with linebackers that are well-rounded. And I look at Khalil Mack as being, yes, an adept pass rusher. Yes, a guy who can stop the run. Yes, a guy who's a smart player. He's a 3-down linebacker. And you team him with a guy like Kiko Alonso, who is also a 3-down linebacker. And I think you have the core of a defense that could be very special. And let's face it, this team led the league in sacks. All right, and was very high in the list as far as interceptions as well. So they're already a pretty good defense. And I think if you add Mack, it'll be even better and more well-rounded. So Khalil Mack, pick number 9 to the Bills. Pick 10 belongs to the Lions. And for years, they've kind of been on the search for the guy opposite Calvin Johnson. And I think here it would be a stretch if they took anyone at 10. If I was them, I wouldn't take a guy like Mike Evans. I would actually choose to address the defensive side of the ball, and most notably at cornerback, and take Darqueze Dennard from Michigan State. Look, Dennard is a guy who's sort of a throwback in the fact that he's physical, he's tough. You learned that obviously from Mark D'Antonio at Michigan State. Physical, in-your-face, man-to-man corner. And I think that's what the Lions need. Their secondary has been really bad for a long time. You have some very good quarterbacks, obviously, and wide receivers, most notably, in that NFC North. And you need a guy to be able to man up against these receivers and be physical. I like the Darqueze Dennard pick to the Lions at pick 10. Guys, that's picks 1 through 10 of my first NFL mock draft. Again, I'll be doing 2 separate videos for picks 11 through 20 and 21 through 32. So be sure to check those out. Obviously, let me know what you guys think of these picks. Hit me up in the comments. Hit me up on Twitter as well. And be sure to subscribe to my channel, guys, not only to get my rest of my mock draft, but also to get my mock drafts in the future and all of my off-season NFL coverage, including wall-to-wall Super Bowl coverage as well. Thanks again for listening, guys. Hope you enjoy the mock draft. Can't wait to hear what you think. Have a great night.